Hi everyone, my name is Albert Khelesi. Today I'm gonna proceed with the tutorial series, and the topic of the day is signals. We're gonna be discussing signals, right? So let's go down. So how does a signal works? So we have a sender and a receiver, right? And then a receiver is something like a function, right? And then this is the message the receiver is going to get. And then where do we put the sender? The sender is put here on the receiver, like it is the parameter of what we call the receiver, which is this function, right? This whole function, we call it a receiver, right? So in this case, this is going to, it has a general functionality. For example, if we do something, right, with our model, this implies that we're gonna get this message. Let me try and check something. If I run the server, okay. So what's going on here? Okay, something is wrong, guys. I don't know. Oh no, nothing is wrong. Okay, we can just go to admin, login, and then we go to profile. Let me go check terminal. As you can see, when I click a link, it gives me this signal that my request is finished. That means every action that I take, so this is in general, so every action that I take within my app or anywhere in my project, this message, this signal is going to be triggered, right? So we have a receiver, we have a sender, we have that message, the signal, and then we have what we call the connector, right? We have this right here, which is going to take in the receiver, right? So what we want to do in this tutorial, we want to get a signal, to trigger a signal after we have created a user, or after we have updated the users in the user's data, like their name or something. So we're gonna get another signal which is going to tell us that, it's gonna tell the receiver that they have their profile is updated, right? So how do we do that? So we can go ahead and import. So we have signals there. Let me check. So I'm gonna come here and say django.db.models.signals, and then we're gonna import. So we want to import the connector, right? So we're gonna use the post save, right? This is the signal we're gonna use. They call it the signal. So we're gonna use this one to connect, right? The receiver. So in this receiver is going to get this message if their profile is created. If a profile is created, So this is similar to this, but then in this case, this one is in general. But then this one, remember, we want it's specific, right? So we will have to specify which model are we gonna work with. So in this case, we're still gonna have this parameter sender, and then we're gonna have created, right? Because we will have to get the signal after the user is created, and then we also need to specify the instance because of update. I mean, if the user is updated, right, we need that. And then, like as always, we also need this, right? So we can go ahead and uncomment this line of code. Lines of code. So we have if created, we have this one, and then it's gonna be triggered once you create once a profile is created, this signal is going to be triggered, right? And then also, so we're gonna put the connector down there, which is post save, and then the connect is gonna take in what we call the receiver, and then it's also gonna take in the sender. I'm gonna say it's user, right? So make sure that you have uploaded this, and then you have user here, one-to-one with we have profile. This profile, it has a one-to-one relationship with the user model, right? Make sure you have that. And then, so now for this one, let me just correct this. Let me uncomment it first. I'm gonna uncomment it also then. So here what's gonna happen, we're gonna put in the parameters. I'm gonna say copy. It's the same thing, but then the difference is that in case the user is updated, right? I mean, the user, they already exist. That's why we're saying created, it's false, because they are already created, right? This is like immediate trigger, right? So we're gonna come here, and then the first thing we're gonna write, we're gonna say instance dot so we're gonna say instance dot, and then we're gonna say profile dot save, right? And then we're gonna go down and print the message. Copy, I'm gonna paste there, and then instead of saying created, you're gonna say updated, and put in the exclamation mark there. And then we also gonna put in this signal there. So you're gonna copy, and then you're gonna paste, and then the name of the receiver function, and then you're gonna paste it there. So let's go ahead. Okay, nothing wrong there, so we can just come here. Let me come here to use this. Let's create a user. Let me call them John, and then password. Go ahead and save. Okay, so I misspelled some line there. Here it's supposed to be create. Let me refresh. So John was successfully added. So as you can see, there it is. The signal was triggered, and then the profile was created. Let's go ahead to John. Now let's go to user, and then you can go here to John, and what you're gonna say here, let's click John. Let me just rename John like 2. No, let me say John 1. Then let me go here and save. As you can see, profile updated, so it worked successfully. So there is also another way of doing this. Sometimes you can also use what we call decorators, right? So what you're gonna do here, you're gonna come here and then say from Django.dispatch import receiver. So we're gonna use this decorator here instead of using the post save, right? But then it's the same thing. Let me just comment. Let me start with the one. Okay, let me start with the one on top. We can just comment this line out, and then we can come here, put that decorator there, and then here we're gonna put in. So here we're gonna put in the signal. So we're gonna say post save, comma, and then we're gonna mention the sender, which is the sender is supposed to be the user, right? Let me just copy this, and also for the following one, copy. You can just paste on top of it, paste. Alright, let me just clear the space. You'll see it's still gonna do the same thing. We can just go ahead and add a new user again. Let me just go home. I can go here, home, then I can go to users, and I can call this user John 2. Then the password 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna save. Let's go check. As you can see, it was executed successfully again. Right? Yes, it was successfully executed. If we update John, we say it's 23, John 23. It's like I'm mentioning verses from the Bible. John 23 chapter 5, something like that. So as you can see, this was also executed successfully. So this is the other way of doing it. So but then this is the way we put this code here is not the correct way, right? So like you remember when we created forms, we had to create like a separate folder for them. So in this case, we're also gonna do the same thing, right? So we're gonna come here to profile. I'm gonna create the file which is called signals, right? And then we're gonna remove all of that code we created here. No, I didn't comment this one out. Let me first check. I commented this out. Let me go ahead and update again. Let me take it back to John 2. Let me save. Let me go check. Yes, it worked. Right. Anyway, we don't need this one, so I'll go ahead and delete this. This was just for explanation. The only decorators that we need are these two, right? So we will have to copy this. Copy. I'm gonna paste it here. Right, so we know these, they go with imports. So we're gonna go to models, take some import. We have this receiver, we have post, we have user. These two I can cut them. I can just cut these two now, but it will show me anyway. So I'm gonna copy this signals. I'm gonna paste it here. Then I'll also have to import the model from .models import, or have to import profile. Yes, everything is good now. So we will have to configure further, right? In order for this to be detected by Django, we'll have to go to apps, and then here just below this we're gonna use what we call the ready function, and then we're gonna import profile. It's profile import node. We have to import this file signals, right? So our app name is profile one dot signal, right? So never mind if it shows that, but we're gonna check if it's gonna work anyway. So let's go to settings, and then we go to apps. So here we need to update this. So we're gonna have that dot apps dot profile one dot config, right? So we can go ahead and check, and then let me attempt to do something. Let me add a user. We call them Dave. Let's call the user Dave. Give them a password. So we are having an error. Let me just check what's the problem. Okay, let me just go back and say day 500. 1, 2, 3. I think the problem is that we already have days, so here you saw it spoke about something unique. Let me save. I don't know what's the problem. Let's try again. You know, when you are having errors, it's best to check here, right? You can check via your controller, your terminal, actually, not your controller. So I don't know what's the problem, but let me pause to save. So we are having the error is because I didn't delete this. You remember I copied this. I should have cut it, you know, but then I didn't. So we need to remove this. Then let's go ahead and try to add a user. So you can call John45. Then we're gonna write a password there. Then let me save. So it's successfully saved. And then profile created, so it worked. So that's how you do it. Make sure that if you are having something red like this, you know, don't panic. I mean, I'm using community version. If you're using community version, this is what you're gonna see. And then also make sure here you have this, you know, otherwise it won't work. That's how you should configure it on settings, right? So yeah, guys, that is the intro to Signals. So we're gonna elaborate on Signals further on the next tutorial. So see you on the next lesson. Cheers.